Peace and grand rising to the sovereign, original, indigenous, natural divine heirs. Today is June the 9th, 2024 on the ancient moon calendar, 2025 on the ancient sun calendar, 10,066 on the ancient Yoruba calendar, 5784 on the ancient Hebrew Israelite calendar. All rise and stand and remain standing into perpetuity and in alignment and according to the ancient Noahide laws as stated by this Holy Congress. This is a sovereign living ancient Article 3, Moorish American Al-Moroccan Universal Court action. We are the sovereign living justices and Eggleston Pauline Denise Ritchie. My free chosen sovereign appellation is Light Tajiri Bay. All are in capitis diminution nolo, in red ink, in propria persona sui juris, in proprio solo, and in proprio heredes. We are capite et corpus juris legalis, which is our statement that we are the lawful and legal natural head and body for our empire. All Moors are the original indigenous, sovereign, ancient, Al-Moroccan, Moorish American ascendants of the great pharaohs of Kemet and of the ancient Moabites, Canaanites, Shemites, Israelites, Cushites, and Hittites. Our full faith and trust, our allegiance, our honor, our credit, and our energy are hereby vested in ourselves, for we are the people who are the original indigenous, natural divine, sovereign, ancient empire state for Morocco. We're the Universal Moorish American Consulate. We are the earth-wide Moorish American Consular Court, and we are the original indigenous de jure Moorish National Republic federal government, among other nations, because there are other nations, other states, other tribes, other clans that are here at Congress with us, and we are all one, Islam. So we send our highest honors to all of the governments that are present. Today, we are being the law by our sovereign status, which is the original indigenous, sovereign, ancient, living, divine, Article 3, United States District 4, Columbia Court, and we are the sovereign fiduciaries, original creditors, executors, trustees, divine ministers, possessors, grantors, grantors, and title trustors for all causes for action. We are peace. We are one nation, one state, one empire, and one God. We hereby recognize ourselves. We also recognize each other. And we accept our sovereign divine ascension. We do possess in our custody all land, all natural resources, and all commerce. We, the true living God nations, are not at war, and we exercise and demonstrate all eternal ancient sovereign rights at this time and at all points in time, nunc pro tunc. So peace to the gods and to all the nations, Islam. So let us do just a little bit of quick cleanup really quickly. And we are going to lock the meeting now that we have done our introduction. So first on our agenda is, in the previous Congress, we stated that we would demonstrate the internal revenue refund report. However, we will do so, but not at this time, due to the following. Our research indicates that the report can only be done after certain high-level prerequisites are completed. Now, let me say this about that. Most of Congress knows what the high-level prerequisites are because we've already stated on the public record what they are. Those high-level prerequisites are the 40-something documents, the 40-plus documents that we have placed on the record that all must put on the public record who will to demonstrate their status as banks, as courts, as law enforcement, as monetary funds and international banking systems. In order to speak to those systems, the high-level prerequisites must be completed. And the more we looked at the Internal Revenue Refund Report, the more we realized that there are a listing of prerequisites that should be done prior to that report being sent. Those who will be sending those reports, which hopefully is all of us, we must know how to do court actions, and everything. Every time we speak, it must be by court action. We must know what that means. We must do it. We must demonstrate that. Also, knowing the financial system in its most basic form. It's very basic. It's nothing super complicated. In fact, none of the things that are high-level prerequisites are super complicated. They're not super complicated, but it does require some study. Okay, and that does not. We don't use fiat, so don't worry about whether there's fiat to be paid or anything. We don't even use that. We don't accept it. So with that being stated, secondly, well, first, the list of prerequisites is essentially the same list that we've been encouraging everyone to complete, but with several high-level additions. And those high-level additions simply means the report itself. Okay. Number two, there is a level of knowledge that is required to understand the Internal Revenue Refund Report, because we're speaking to a system. Okay. Wealth understanding, or to understand your wealth, it's your wealth. You must understand your wealth. You must overstand your wealth. Wealth understanding of the report and all preceding documents is mandatory. So you must know why you have the authority to put a presidential document on the public record stating that you're the president, you're the governor, you're the law enforcement, you're the mayor, we are all offices, because all offices proceed from us. Okay? And that is something that you must know. And I'll say this, Moors, the documents are not a problem. You can look at the documents, read them, understand them. Most of the documents are written in ancient English, but Moors understand ancient English. It's very, very simple. However, when you're looking at the one issue that Moors have from our perspective, from what we can see, and just from, we met with a Moor today, and the issue that the Moors have that we can see most often is a very basic issue of proper identification of the parties. That is the one area where Moors must, we must, when you got that, everything else is easy. Everything else is easy. So when you, proper identification of the parties is simply knowing that there is no sheriff but you, but us. There is no government but us. There is no office but us. There's no postmaster general but us. There's not even a janitor but us. So all nouns are us. All nouns are us. Because you hear people talking about pronouns, but we state that all nouns are us. So, you know, when you're talking about offices and you're talking about titles of any kind, that's us first. And any titles that we issue to anyone. Okay? No one has a title until we give it to them. No one has a title until we give it to them. A sheriff is not a sheriff until we call them a sheriff. And if we call them a sheriff and then we turn around and say, oh no, you're not the sheriff, I'm the sheriff, then that is truth, and they will behave in that manner. It's truth. Okay? So that one precept, we call it a precept because just one moment. Let me just a moment. Okay. So that one precept, and it's a precept because you must know that before anything else can be consumed properly or understood properly. Okay. And so that is another reason why we're holding off on the internal revenue refund report. Because the more I look at the report, the more I see that us knowing who we are and is done and accomplished more thoroughly by the prerequisites, by the 40-something documents. And so those documents it's going to be necessary. And then thirdly, the internal revenue report is the portal to the quantum banking system. The internal revenue refund report is the portal to the quantum banking system. And the more we look at that system, the more we see that the quantum banking system has always been a thing. It's always been real. It's always been ours. We just had to call it forth properly and competently. And only when you know that you're the bank and you're the law and you're the government will you know that that system belongs to you. Okay. Number 4, active regular exchanges according to the Moorish sovereign Dollarium gold and silver system among us will accelerate. All must participate in the banking system in order to access the wealth as the estate is stated with Moorish sovereign Dollarium gold and silver receipts and gold and silver. Okay, so we must know, thank you, nobility, we must know, we must be familiar with our system, and not be familiar, but know our system in order to access, okay? So this is our question. How can anyone access a system when you're not even, when you haven't even started using the currency for that system? How can you access that system if you don't even know what the currency looks like? Yes, it's gold and silver. It's also Moorish sovereign Dollarium, because that is a currency. That's money. Moorish sovereign Dollarium is the following. It's everything. That's what it is. Moorish sovereign Dollarium is currency, it's money, it's gold, it's silver, it's vouchers, it's certificates, it's dollars, it's checks, it's all of that, okay? And even our merchant cards are nominated or named or stated in Moorish sovereign Dollarium, gold and silver. So until, not until, we must be using our system regularly in order to access that portal. Because yes, people say, you know, that they're ready to accept their wealth, but are you ready to accept it when you're not using it yet? Moorish sovereign dollarium, gold and silver, and proper money. We were not taught how to use money in the previous system. And the only way that we will know how to use money in this era, because we've created all of this, is to just go ahead and do it among each other, with those around you. We must use our own money regularly. I will to thank those who are sending, who are doing the exchanges with us, because we're receiving things here at the consulate that is just amazing. We're so honored. And we're also doing our exchanges as well. So receiving and giving, okay, back and forth using our system. So, and the ancestors are providing us with everything that is necessary for us to use it. Okay. So we will to see more of you doing the exchanges. And I know some are doing the exchanges and we'll never see those exchanges because you're at your territories doing them. But for those who have not done a single exchange in either gold, silver, or Moorish sovereign dollarium, we encourage you to go ahead and get started doing that. There are some of us who have things sitting around our domicile that others can use that we haven't used in years. Put that up and say, I'll accept Moorish sovereign dollarium for it, because you were going to trash it anyway. You were either going to throw it away, you were going to hand it, you were going to try and sell it, you were going to exchange it for something anyway. Let's do it the right way. We're making that statement. I have not received your box yet, but other things have come. So I'm not really sure, Justice Leon and Empress Niraj. I've not received yours yet. However, something came from Califia territory and something came from the East Coast as well. So I'm not really sure what the holdup is. I did check though. So with that being stated, okay, Islam. So with that being stated, each and every one of us, we have no excuses. We have no excuses as to why or why not we can't use our own money system. We have no excuses. We have dashed and trashed all excuses. We have the money, everyone can print it out. We have things and skills and all of that we can exchange among each other. And here's the thing, when you, because I see some saying they have Dollarium already ready to be printed, or they have it ready to use, that's great. But what do you have also that you can give to others in exchange for their Dollarium or their skill set or whatever it is that they will to show, to have? You know, we can do court actions for one another and do things for one another. Just one moment. Islam. We have things that we can exchange with one another. We have skill sets. Many can do hair and, you know, what other things, you know. So there's no excuse. We have no excuse. None whatsoever. We have no excuse. We can always use our own money. Okay, we have our own systems. Islam. Just one moment. We have probably, I think there's just one moment. Let me clear that up. Just a moment. we can't be stopped, and there's, it's not going to happen. So just a moment. One moment. Oh. Okay. Can you all hear me? If you would just put it in the chat. Can you all hear me?
Islam.
Okay.
Islam.
Okay.
Islam.
Islam.
Islam. I can hear you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Islam.
Thank you. Okay.
Islam.
Beautiful. Thank you, nobilities. We appreciate that. So, let's see. Just a moment.
You've done just as commanded. Well done, our faithful servant. Just as commanded. You unlocked him. That was so good. You coward. You're so cowardly. Welcome to Pauline's pity. Welcome to Pauline's poor people pitiful party, y'all. She's so pitiful. She's so poor. She wants
You can tell we have kicked those booties all of those ugly energies.
Let's hear, sister. I used to tell
Islam. So, now we have given certain commands and put those commands on the public record.
You do know Aisha's being evicted, don't you, Pauline?
We've placed those on the public record. And today we're going to show you that the system is doing exactly what it should be doing. Okay? We did see some things that, there were some things that were sent to us, and we appreciate that. All items that are sent for those who are willing to do the 1 hour console and things of that nature, those items are being nationalized. So no matter where you get those items from, we enter them into a national database and then we nationalize them. Okay, so where it doesn't matter where you get the whatever it is that you're trading with each other, even. It doesn't matter where you get those things from. Because no matter where you get them from, you can nationalize them. Okay? And so, where nationality of the document, of the items is concerned, it's a simple matter of you being properly nationalized first, and then having a database available so that you can nationalize the things that come to you and give them the same nature as you have. So here, just a moment.
You're full of bullshit.
Okay. So with that being stated, Islam Empress.
Would you mind unlocking the meeting for a second?
Sure.
Thank you. Islam.
Islam. And here's the thing. Just one moment.
Most grateful. Thank you.
You're welcome, Empress. Just a moment.
All of bullshit. Bullshit.
Okay. So that is really quickly.
Aisha, are you going to tell everybody about your eviction coming up? June 17th, a week from tomorrow, hon.
Just a moment. Okay. And for those who are new, just let's keep going. Let's just roll with it. Let's keep going because we know that we've done exactly what we should be doing.
You better listen to her because bitch, you're going to be evicted out next month.
And we know that, not everybody wants to get up off of acting and stop acting, but they have to. They don't want to stop acting, but they have to. So with that being stated, this is how our process works. You choose something from your inventory to trade, okay? And that can be anything: talent, skills, abilities, knowledge, information, goods, services, not services, but works and things of that nature. Whatever it is that you have in your inventory, it can be old, it can be pots and pans, it can be clothing. There's someone somewhere who wills to have whatever it is that you have at your domicile. Let me say this too. As you're going through your things, yes, think about things that you would will to have, but think about others first, and you'll choose all the right things from your inventory, just from what you have right now. You will find that there's someone out there who can use the things that you have. Okay? If we can nationalize our own things, which we've done, we can nationalize everything else. Okay? So, and there are people who will to have the things. It doesn't matter what it is. So this is a process that everyone, no matter who you are, no matter what your status is, you can participate in getting this economic liberty manifested in your life. Okay? We're doing it as well. So whatever you have, publish or find someone who has inventory to trade. If they want to trade something, do that back and forth. Agree either in writing or verbally to trade. Okay? And always check, properly identify yourselves to one another. Okay? That is the number one issue.
Pauline's begging for shit because her Dollarium don't work.
That's the process. And I can tell you, the minute you start doing it, watch the blessing comes through. Watch the blessings come in. Watch. Our ancestors promised it.
Where's my boy Willie? I haven't seen him in a while.
And I could show you some of the blessings that have come through for us. It's just
she
not. She
could show you, but she never does. She never shows nothing.
Okay. So the minute you start doing this, of course, fake fiat energies don't want you to do this. Of course they don't. That's why you were programmed the way you were in the previous era. But that era is over. It's our time now. So publish or find someone who has inventory to trade, even if you have nothing that you need. Okay, and we none of us need anything because we're the gods. It is a will of ours that everything be properly done this era. So agree in writing, and then go ahead and manifest the trade. Reconcile any differences in Moor sovereign Dollarium gold receipts. Reconcile any differences in Moor sovereign Dollarium gold receipts, and then record the trade on your books. Each party should record the trade on their books to receive the credit for the action. Okay? And for some of us, it may take a day or two for us to record things and so on and so forth, but as soon as we get the opportunity to record it, we record it. And generally it's best to record it that moment when it happens. Okay? We literally ran out of time today to record the trades and things that we were doing today, you know. But we're going to do it anyway. So just one moment. So with that being stated, we have an inventory listing of items to trade and items accepted in trade. We will provide one of the following. A 1-hour, one-on-one video consultation on a legal issue. Okay, this is what we will provide. Okay.
You can't even get a.
We will also provide. We will also provide. We will also provide a handcrafted salts of salvation ocean minerals. It's a small sea salt presentment. Or we will provide a hand-created pine tree tea product, or autographed, stamp, sealed Moorish sovereign Dollarium gold receipt from us in the amount of whatever is received by us from the list of things that, from whatever it is that you send, okay, or that you exchange. And this should be the case for all Moors. This is, you know, you should come to the table with whatever skill you have, okay? That skill can be, it can be something as simple as encouraging people. If you know you're good at encouraging people, then that's a skill. That's a life skill, a living skill. Bring that to the table in exchange for something, because that's part of uplifting fallen humanity, okay? Or uplifting of rising humanity. Judicial, we consult where legal and lawful issues are concerned, okay? That's a part of our trade and the things that we do. Or one more sovereign Dollarium silver coin. We do any coins that we have, when we nationalize them, they become a part of our Moorish sovereign Dollarium system, okay? So if we have a coin, if we have a gold or silver coin that we receive from someone, we just, you know, we nationalize it, we enter it into our database, and then it begins trading in our system, okay? So we offer those as well with regard to anything that might be sent. And those that we're trading with, whenever they send whatever they send, for example, one of the Moors sent some of the 2-inch notarial seals, gold notarial seals. Well, then he chose number 1. He chose a 1-hour one-on-one video consultation on a legal issue. So we're arranging that with him, and hopefully the noble who that's not the list. Please don't click any of the links in the chat. We did not put those there. In fact, we're going to have to put those who are
I command you
to be us.
I command.
We're going to put them out so that they can't be imposters and pretend to be us. So these are the things that we offer, okay, for our trade. We will provide any one of the above for any one of the following. Now, Moors, as we put this list on the screen, you might be saying, well, who in the world would give an automobile or a house or something like that for that, you know, for those things? I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you who would do that. I'm going to point you in the direction of who would do that. So for any one of the following things, for any one of the following, we provide what we stated for any of these things. So for anyone who has documentation for proper documentation for antique automobiles, houses, antique furniture, antique items of all kinds, or 8.5 by 11 or 8.5 by 14 white copy paper, 8.5 by 11 G natural cotton linen blend paper, 2-inch round gold notarial seals, 9-inch by 12-inch white mailing envelopes, 1-inch by 2 5/8-inch address labels, printer ink toner, any color, which is yellow, cyan, magenta, or black. That would be for a Hewlett Packard Color LaserJet Pro M454DW. Any amount of russet potatoes or red potatoes, any amount of onions, purple, white, scallions, any other, honey or any flavor of tea or coffee, salmon of any kind or fish of any kind, except, you know, we don't do like tilapia or anything like that. And we would not send that because we're also going to be sending things of this nature. Eggs, butter, almond milk, coconut milk, flour, pure cane sugar, any other baking products, and more. As we're stating these things, think about what you have in your possession where you can trade that with others at your territory, even back and forth. Flying mileage, gas cards, gift cards of any kind. We'll be nationalizing all of this. All other, and anything else that you all can think of, anything that you have in your inventories, we have things here that we're just ready to give and trade and exchange. All other as accepted for national reporting. So we're sending everything through the national portal by bringing it into our inventory. Okay. So for more information about this process, these congresses are where you will to be. More information, Congress, every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern and every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. freeconferencecall.com. There's the dial-in and the access and the online meeting identification, okay? And the link as well is on the screen. So be thinking about the things that, you know, that you have, because here's the thing, again, the wealth system, the portal to the quantum financial system, is accessed by way of our money going back and forth and circulating, okay? Our money, our will, our gold and silver, our currency, our energy, our items, our property, that is how the money system is accessed, by us circulating and circulating and circulating with any and everything. Okay. Now, are there any questions, comments, wisdom about this particular part of the Congress before we go into showing you that everything that we stated, the ancestors are honoring it and the system is honoring it as well? Any questions, comments, wisdom about how to circulate and use our money?
Hi, my name is Malaka. Greetings.
Greetings, nobility. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yeah, I want to make a statement besides the question. Yeah, I've seen people in the past have done this, where they, you know, they trade goods instead of using money. They use goods to. I think this can actually work. You know, in my opinion, I feel it's working, because all you got to do basically is just you know, you don't have to give Dollarium. It's good too, but you want to do it. If you give them something exchange, you said exchange for services and advice. So yes, I think this is a good thing. I mean, I don't mind trading buttermilk and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
I really think this is a great idea, Islam.
Yeah, Islam. Well, and let me say this about that. Thank you for that, Nobility. We love hearing these types of statements. Now, the Noble said something that I will to address. He said that it didn't have to necessarily be Dollarium. Is that correct, Nobility? Did you say that?
Yes, I did.
Okay. We honor that you are bold and brave enough to say that on this platform, because it's important that those thoughts be brought forth. Let us clarify why we say Dollarium. Those who were using the fake fiat system that we just came out of, okay, in the enactment, those who were using that particular system were not going to stop using it until it was properly replaced. So nature abhors a vacuum. Yes, the things going back and forth is good, but at some point there may be some reconciliation that has to happen. And if we left that space open for fiat to get back in there, then we would have started right back at square one, which is slavery, no go. We must properly rebut everything that was done. And here's the thing: the fiat that was the only thing that really was keeping fakes and frauds continuing to grab you all and take you all and hold you. It was the fiat. It wasn't anything else.
Bullshit.
That's what it was. That's what it was. They don't have a good argument. That's why they say things like that, because they don't have a decent rebuttal. They don't have a decent rebuttal. The stuff was fake. It was fake. So we must properly rebut.
You just don't want to hear it.
We must properly rebut fiat and fakeness and fraud. Okay? That's why Dollarium is so important in all of this. That space, nature does not let space exist. Nature fills space. That's what space is. That's why it's called space. Nature even filled space with space. Right? Nature abhors a vacuum. Nature will not let nothingness exist because nature is too abundant for that. So we had to have something, because see, that was the only place where all of that fraud and it's been some of the strongest original indigenous people. I've seen some of the strongest ones. They seem strong all the way up until that fiat come into play, and that's where they don't move, they don't get past it. When all it took was us to just rebut it, and then trust our rebuttal among each other. Trust each other that whatever you give me and whatever I give you, we're going to meet each other right there. And any difference that needs to be reconciled can be reconciled in our own money. I don't have to give you fiat. I don't have to give anyone fiat. We're proving that with our mailing process that we've been using for years. We're proving that. So Dollarium had to be put in place because nature would not let us say that those that created fiat can't keep taking us, but we keep turning around using the same stuff that they're using to take us with. That doesn't make any sense. We're smarter than that. We're smarter than that. That stuff is not even a dollar. It's not a real dollar. Dollarium is a real dollar, though. Dollarium is whatever we say it is because we're the law. You see? And when we trust ourselves and each other's money, who can say no? Who can come in and say, oh, we got to tax that? Or, oh, we got to confiscate that. You can't confiscate nothing that you didn't create. And that's why we say what we say about the internal revenue. The internal revenue, it's internal. That means it's among us. That's internal. Internal means inside. So our internal revenue is us and our money. And whoever's money you're using, that's whose internal revenue you will answer to. Because it's a system. And either you'll be the system or you'll get got by a system. A fake one. They're fake. It's a system. So the lords of the system, which is all of us, speak to our system, and there's no war. There's no reason to war. That's where peace comes in at. We don't have to war with our system. Our system hears our voice, and another it will not follow. You see, that's biblical principles right there. And when we say biblical, it's also the Quran principles. All of that is contained within the holy books, all the holy books, all of them, because they're all one book. That's why some are missing certain years of the Savior's life, and others have those years, but they don't have this and don't have that, because it's all one book that was divided. Just like we are all one people that was supposedly divided, but we're here, we're together, we're unified, we're one. So with that being stated,
Islam?
Are there Islam, Empress?
There has not been a proper public, lawful, legal rebuttal of the Dollarium. Nowhere on the planet has anyone properly rebutted the Dollarium. It is money. It is law.
Yes.
Islam. Thank you.
Yes. Because they cannot. It was a system to begin with, and no system is going to rebut the living beings, the gods that create the system. No system is going to rebut that. A system cannot do anything except whatever goes into that system is going to tell that system what to do. You know, in the computer world, in the programming world, they say garbage in, garbage out. Well, truth in, truth out. Believe it and know that's truth. So when we speak to our system, that's how come we don't have to war with people who are, you know, the modern Europeans and all that. We don't have to war with them. They know their subjects. They know that. And they're okay with that. Okay? They're okay with that. So our fight is not with them. See, people keep wanting to make it about that. We bind that because it's not about that. We are the lords for this land, always have been and always will be. That will not change whether because see, some sleeping Moors have tried to rebut the fact that they're God. They don't want to believe that because they've been programmed by foreign matter. They don't even want to believe they're the lords on the land, but will turn right around and call somebody else a landlord and try and pay them some fiat. Come on, let's just think. We got this. We got this. This is a wrap. It's a wrap. As long as we continue to trust one another, it's a wrap. And those are not ego statements. Those are facts. That's truth and law. As long as we trust each other and keep trading back and forth among each other. And now our system is doing what it should be doing. So there have been some, and let's just show this part, because this is really, some have been talking about a wealth transfer. Have you all heard anything about a wealth transfer? Has anyone heard anything about a wealth transfer?
Islam. I have some.
Islam. The debt has ruined any enactment of a wealth transfer for the debtors. And debtors is anyone who has not properly proclaimed who they are. So I was doing some study and I came across this video. Let me put the link to the video in the chat. Okay. This link that just went into the chat just now, I did put that one in the chat. There's some up above that I did not put in the chat. There was someone pretending to be light. They want to be light, but they're really darkness. So we put them out. So this link that we just put in the chat is of a video, and we're not going to watch the video now. Just go ahead and grab the link of some persons talking about how those who have had the things, the domiciles, but really they call them houses and things like that. They have these houses and these cars and all of these things that they thought were valuable. They wanted to will those things to their children as a part of the great wealth transfer. Well, let's take, for example, a house. There are some who were enacting wanting to will a house to their children because that was a part of the wealth transfer for them, is this house. Well, in this video, there was a person talking about that in their enactment, and they were saying that the children, the kids that they were going to give the houses to, don't want the houses because the houses are coming with so much debt. They don't want the stuff because the stuff doesn't have any value. It sat there for 30 and 40 and 50 years waiting to hand it to them, but now it doesn't have any value. They even talked about, he even mentioned an old conveyance, an old car, an old automobile from the 30s or something like that, 30s or 40s, that someone had in a garage, and they were getting too old, and so they were trying to give it to their children, and the children don't want the house, they don't want the car, they don't want any of that stuff. They don't want it. Number one, because it comes with so much debt, and number two, they don't want to have all of that stuff. They want to just travel lightly or whatever. So now, as I thought about this, and I listened to what this actor was saying, it occurred to me that, the programming, this is what the programming said first. And of course, we always rebut programming, but programming still comes sometimes and tries to speak. The programming said, why would we want their leftover stuff? We don't really want it either. Well, you may not. You might not will to have the houses and the cars and all of that stuff. But it's not just about you. It's about those who have had to live in places that were not safe, places that were places that were far beneath their rights as heirs. That part. So that was our rebuttal to that, is it's not about us, it's about everyone. It's about everyone. So we're going to keep going, and we're going to go ahead and do the liens, levies, bonds, the financial processes, and use our system to make sure that not a single heir is without. Not one. And our subjects will have as well. Our concern today is the heirs. And here's the thing about the heirs. Heirs, just get ready, because you will be saving yourselves with these processes. The system is in place. The money is in place. Nobody has to be hungry. Nobody has to do without, because each and all of us have things that we're all bringing to the table. And we have the way to transfer back and forth and move things around. So this video and many like it, where those who were claiming things are saying, we don't want that stuff no more. We don't want their land. We don't want their structures and buildings. We don't want any of their stuff. Did you ever think that you would see the day come when they would just back up from everything because the debt is so heavy? And all we have to do is lien, levy, bond, do the titling, and do the proper deeds and processes, and the things are ours. And then use our system to properly claim, proclaim, deduct, add, move, multiply. So, all of that stuff about claiming things and claiming things that were not even their stuff, that spirit has been broken off of our land. That's because it was a spirit. No one had the authority to take anything from us or from our land. No one had that authority. And they knew they couldn't go anywhere with the stuff. It was a spirit. And that takes us back to that question about, or the statement about, well, it doesn't have to be Dollarium. You can just barter and trade. It should be Dollarium too. Make sure you put that Dollarium in there. Okay? Because that's proper rebuttal. You must have your own financial system. And money and currency is a part of that. So that there's no room for fraud to slip up in there. No room for fraud to slip into your processes. Okay? So, Islam, Empress.
Within the last few days, and forgive me for bringing this up, what went viral was Saudi Arabia and the U.S. petrodollar contract ended. It set the internet ablaze. So when you speak of using currency, you have no idea what that currency is right now. Why would you want to hold on to it? And that's my question.
Yeah. See, that was not our creation. U.S. And what the heck is a petrodollar anyway? What is that? We don't even know, and I don't think they know either. It's just debt as far as we can see. And we see very far. It's debt. It wasn't their oil to begin with. Let's just think about that. Even in the Biblios, it says, don't touch the wine and don't touch the oil.
Islam?
Was
that a rhetorical question? What is the petrodollar?
It is rhetorical. It's debt.
Thank you.
We know it's debt.
All right.
We know it's debt.
I just want to clarify. Thank you.
Yeah. So in the Biblios, it says, don't touch the wine and don't touch the oil. What does that mean? When you look at, this is what it means. When you look at Saudi Aramco, Saudi Aramco, when you look at their logo, it's in capitis diminutio nolo, which means it doesn't have any capital letters in it. Don't touch the wine and don't touch the oil. Oil, we've already capitalized, and it wasn't necessary to capitalize, it was just necessary to claim it. Okay? So, there is no wealth transfer for debtors. We don't even have to worry about that. That's not even a thing. It doesn't make sense. Debtors don't own anything. Corpses, more importantly, let me restate that to say corpses don't own anything. The dead don't own anything. Slaves don't own anything. They don't have access to the system. They don't. The Lords tell the system what to do. So, some of the comments that were under this video that I just linked in the chat, some of the comments under it, I will to show you some of these because it was just interesting to hear what's really going on. One of the comments under that video that I just showed you the link to says, I go to estate sales, I see black and white family picture. People don't even want their own family history. Could that be because it's not true? Could that be why they don't care about those pictures? Could it be because they were just acting? Could be. Another one said, I kept almost nothing when my parents died. I live in a studio apartment with no hope of ever owning a house. I simply do not have any room. They don't want that stuff that people were ready to fight over. Here's another one. When I was in my 20s, I remember a lady saying, I'm in my 50s now, and I'm trying to get rid of most things that I accumulated in my 30s and 40s. I wish I had the money instead. And they said those words stuck with them, and you know, because they're now in their 60s. And then someone else said, that's why I am Swedish desk cleaning, so my son doesn't have to deal with my stuff. He doesn't want it. I just cleaned out my mom's house of 60 years. Exhausting. This one right here says, people, please, people, don't be offended when your family doesn't want your stuff. It's simply that your kids have different tastes and interests than you. Also, they are accumulating or have accumulated their own stuff. They may not have any room for your stuff. Also, remember, it's just things. It's just inanimate objects. Don't burden them with this stress. It's not fair. In other words, they are rejecting all of that stuff. Meanwhile, and this was something that came to my mind as I was looking at this, and the ancestors were showing us how everything is already ours and we are not going to have to war for it and we're not going to have to fight for anything. They were saying also that the stuff, all we have to do is think about those who did not have anything. All of it was fiat-based in the first place, or it was being traded by use of fiat. So, Moors, we've stated that we are not at war, and that is manifesting in everything that we see. We're not going to have to fight for anything. Everything is already ours, but our ancestors do not, I won't say what they don't, I'll speak in the positive. Our ancestors will that we not argue over things, but that we use our system to properly and peacefully proclaim. Use our money to do that. And here's the thing about Dollarium too. Speaking, because I'm still, that statement about it doesn't necessarily have to be Dollarium. Nobility who said that, don't take this personally. But I'm just continuing, the ancestors are continuing to state things to me about that. There are some Moors who don't have gold and silver coins. They only have their money. But here's the thing, it was their signature that was moving things around in the first place. And that's one of the characteristics of Dollarium, is it has a sovereign, original, indigenous, ancient signature on it, which is not something that gold and silver have on it. Meanwhile, in the previous era, no gold and silver in sight, signatures everywhere. So Dollarium is a key. It's a key. It's a very strong key in terms of what we're doing. And some people may have some things, and they may say, "Well, you can just buy this from me. I don't really have any I don't have any needs. Just give me the Dollarium, the gold and silver." And then they can turn right around and hand that to Light Tajiri Bay and get some sea salt, or something else. They can hand the Dollarium, because we take Dollarium. So, and here's the thing, all of the marketplace takes Dollarium too. There's a question in the chat, how do we free, I believe that's what you're saying, free ourselves from fiat? That's a beautiful question, Emperor Nada. Listen, Morse. The way that you free yourself from fiat is one step at a time. That's how you do it. One step at a time, one thing at a time, just one situation at a time. You take your time, and one step at a time, one demonstration at a time, some study, and then demonstrate, and then study, and then demonstrate, remember, and then demonstrate. That's how you free yourself from fiat. One move at a time. Islam, Empress.
My brother is in the process of declaring his nationality, and he's going through the documents right now. And he said, for the first time, things made sense. As he started reading through those documents, he understood the process and what was happening, and how the system is set up to work for us. So I just wanted to share that. Islam.
Thank you, Empress Cynthia. I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful because there's no need for us to be doing without. No more should be doing without. No subject should be doing without. And here's the thing. The ones who enacted that previous system made out like bandits, and now they don't even want the stuff. Domiciles either. They don't want the houses or anything either because they come with a bunch of debt. They don't want them. They don't want the responsibility. Here's another statement that was, not statement, but comment that was made. It says, you're so right. I clean houses and all the older people are complaining that their children don't want any of their stuff. They just want cash. And unfortunately, or fortunately for us, they can't have cash. They can have Dollarium. They can't have cash. Because that stuff ain't cash. The stuff they think is cash is not cash. Islam, Empress.
I was just thinking, even when they have inherited land, they are selling the land or abandoning the land.
Abandoning. Yeah, they're abandoning in droves, just droves in abandoning. because it's number one, because it's not theirs. Number two, because our ancestors have, I can't even, they did it through us. Our ancestors broke the spell through us, through all of us. Our ancestors broke the spell on the land that made them want it in the first place. It was a spell. See, not only were we under an enacted spell, but they were under a spell too. That they were willing to get guns and call police, quote unquote, on us on our own land. It was a spell, and we broke it. We broke it. And we're going to continue to break, but keep it broken. Let me put it that way. We're going to keep it broken. Islam, Empress.
Back. Anyway, another thing, it would seem that who would want to deal with that system? In order to take those properties, you have to deal with those bankers. I'm going to say it. And there's just, unless you know this process and you're declared, you have to deal with that with that system, and it's hell on earth. So I just want to say that Islam.
Empress, listen. No truer words were ever spoken regarding hell on earth. That thing is hell because it's meant to be hell. And guess what? Our system is heaven. For us, our system is heaven. There's nothing we cannot have, do, be, or obtain, or possess. We possess it all anyway. So here's some other comments that you just have to see these. It says, my family owns such and such realty. We sell real estate and personal property as a complete estate downsizing and relocation company. And they're saying they're agreeing with what's being stated in the video. Downsizing and relocation, that means give the Moors back their stuff and get out of here. Company. That's what that is, downsizing and relocation company. Again, Moors, we're the ones who put the law on the public record about the land. Okay, and again, this is not ego speaking. This is about facts. This is about truth. This is about the law. When we say it and when we state it, it's the law. Here's another comment. Nobody wants garbage. Everybody wants money. And guess what? They don't have either. Because even the stuff they're calling garbage ain't theirs. It's not theirs. It never was. Breaking the spell of fiat has caused this to happen. It was a spell from day one in the enactment. And break that spell and everything else is about the Moors. That spell was the one. And that's what we came here to do, all of us. We came here to break that spell. Look at this. This one said, we moved my dad in with us and had an auctioneer go through his entire household and auction off what was valuable, and they put in quotes almost nothing, and dispose of the rest after we took what we wanted with Dad's permission. He got $600 for his whole household after fees. And they're saying, oh, it was worth it. And that's all. That's 60, 70, 80 years of stuff in the enactment. Islam, Empress.
Yes, this is Empress and Mommy. As it relates to the land, etc., I have a question. My question is, one of the things that my family owned was this particular land. And however, under the old system, it was sold or given to someone else, quote unquote, supposedly unlawfully. So with us being, or myself, as an example, let's just say I've already went through the process, I've claimed who I am, proclaimed who I am. How would I go about getting that land back?
So the system is showing some things about the land. The system is showing some things. You want to look, you will to look at everything that was filed by whoever it was, and you just rebut each and every document. You rebut each and every document. And what we suggest, because our land is worth it, is that you restate each one of those documents. Have you seen the restatement process? Because we've done it and shown it in previous videos and congresses. But if you haven't seen it, we're going to be showing some more restating of processes here.
Perfect. I think I did, going through, the last couple of emails, not emails, YouTubes, that I mentioned to you concerning, and I'm simply going to repeat everything, just go back through it again and again and again, and then also reviewing the 40 documents, because like you said, it's all in that 40 documents. Yeah. Where the process is and whatever it is that I need answered is in the 40.
Your authority, not your authority because your authority is in your blood, but understanding and absorbing your authority is what the 40 documents is. It just repeats back to you repeatedly how powerful you are. That's what the 40 documents is. And it puts it each one of the offices where land ownership is concerned is mentioned there. Each one of the offices, Secretary of State Secretary, tax assessor, and county, and all of that is mentioned in the 40 documents, and it tells you your authority there.
Okay, and I have one last question.
Islam.
I have one last question as it relates to that. So my father is in his 90s. And they own their home. However, he co-signed it to one of the siblings, us, one of us. Now, with them not claiming who they are, in my understanding from what is being presented here or represented here, they don't own it anyway. Still. So then if I was not...
Let me just say this. Do they have a allodial title? Are they holding a title to it? Or do they have a deed? Are they holding a title or a deed?
No, I think they're holding a deed.
I'm pretty sure they are. If they haven't declared who they are, they can't hold title. They don't even know to create a title.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
However, Empress, let me say this about those types of situations, because it's important that we know that these processes, before you move in that direction, make sure that your energy is clear towards all parties involved, and that what you're doing is being done out of love and not out of either war or greed or anything. And I'm not saying that you would, but I'm saying this for the benefit of everyone who hears me, that when it comes to family and kinship and things like that, where maybe one person, for example, if a father left some land to one of the siblings but not to you, but you're the one who's awake, you have the authority to lien, levy, bond, and title. You know that. However, The system will honor it when it's done with the right energy. And here's the thing, I'm finding that as we do things like that, because I have a similar situation, the ancestors have led me to include my brothers and sisters on the process, but see, they won't be able to take advantage of that should anything happen until they declare their nationality. And when they declare their nationality, they automatically become a part of the process, because before then, they're considered slaves, and that's why the system won't issue title. We create title. You see?
Yeah.
So I have not moved any further on that process because I'm just triple, quadruple checking my spirit from top to bottom, front to back, up and down and sideways, making sure that everything that I do is done in love. So that when they do wake up, you can show them that I love you. You know I love you. I just did it because the land needed to be protected. We have to do it. But they don't own it anyway if they haven't declared who they are and know those processes. So in order to protect the land, we do that.
Yeah.
We don't even have to tell them that we protected the land. The system is going to tell them.
I had that very thought.
Yeah, the system will tell.
Yeah.
Put them on the paperwork too. I had to do that with my consort and the domiciles and things of that nature. I had to do that with my consort. He's declared his nationality, but he's not as, he's not as into it as I am. And but I cannot create title, allodial title, and not put him on it. We've been together too long for that. And he was a part of the process when we bought this domicile in our sleep. Our names, quote unquote, are on the documentation. So I'm not going to, just because he might not be able to stand on the paperwork, but I can. And I didn't have a choice, I had to. So I put his appellation on the paper, and as he continues to grow in that, he's automatically a part of the process of ownership.
Yeah. Thank you so much for answering my question. Islam.
Yeah, and that's for everyone involved. If a parent left something to someone who's not declared their nationality, it's not like you're taking it from them, because see, the system won't honor war energy. Even though you might have the paperwork right, the energy that's on the paperwork is not going to be right. It'll be war if you're talking about taking something and putting somebody out, and all of that. That energy has to be cleared, because everything that we do is to protect and to keep and to unify. So any more to have that situation going on, or even, and I'll speak to this part, even if you're a Moor and you're married to a foreigner, a modern European, first of all, again, as we stated, they can't claim anything, but you can put them in your trust, and you should. If you're married to them, and marriage is not even really a thing. It's matrimony for us, but you have a contract that you agreed to. So now you're above the contracting level, because you can't, and this is some might not like this, but I have to say it anyway. We do not contract with subjects. We give affidavits, and our subjects they do as they're made a part of our estate, because they are a part of our estate. They don't govern our estate, we do. So they just like chapter 29. No, they don't. Nope. No, they don't. Justice Nathan, they don't do that. We'll rebut that. They don't do that. They don't have the authority over the letters to kill anybody. Before anything comes, there's always paper first. Title, deed, ownership comes before anything else. So with the subjects, if you have agreed to be married to a subject, then it's your job to protect them. It's their job to be in subject status, because that's not optional. It's not optional. It's not optional for anyone coming here. And that's not an ego statement, that's the law. We don't even need ego it's not a necessity in what we're doing, because the law does everything. We are the law. The law does everything. The law tells everything and everyone where they are and who they are and what they're doing. So there's no war. So that there's no war. Okay? So we see what's happening with those who were claiming things. And, here's the thing. A lot of those ones who were claiming things, and they had guns, and if anybody would step onto their property, they want to shoot. Well, all of that stuff is over. That war is not a thing. It's not a thing. Because we don't have to war. We don't have to fight over stuff that's already ours. Our job is to know how to do the processes and speak to the system and tell the system to tell them to get out, or tell the system to tell them that they can stay there for a certain length of time or whatever. See, that's why there's no war. We don't have to talk to anybody in terms of that. We don't have to go up to nobody and knock on the door. You get out of here. We don't have to do all of that. The system will do it. The system will do it. And just one more of these. This one is talking about they gave everything to a thrift store until one day they saw something at a back gate. The staff declined. The people at the thrift store don't even want the stuff. It was a 4-piece expensive bedroom set, quote unquote. They were full. So, Moors, we don't have anything to worry about, and we certainly don't have anything to war about. We don't have to fight with subjects, and we don't have to fight with each other about anything. Everyone, and there's more than enough for all of us. Way more than enough. Way more than enough. Our ancestors' will was for us to create the system by which things are done in an orderly manner, so that we don't have to fight with anyone. We don't even have to say nothing to them. Very simple, very easy. Which brings me back to what we stated initially. Our money system, because it is created and it's on the record, we have no excuse. We have no excuse now. No excuse. There's no excuse for war. There's no excuse for poverty. There's no excuse for lack. No excuse. And the system is going to continue to push that stuff forward, in terms of the system is going to say there's no lack, there's no poverty, none of that. I could tell you things that just Because I know it will blow your mind because it blew mine in terms of blew it up and expanded it. In terms of there's no lack. Lack does not exist at all. It doesn't exist. You got people that don't want stuff, and now the corporations, quote unquote, are don't want it. The corporations don't want the stuff. So why is there a more doing without? The people suffer for lack of knowledge. And now that's not even an excuse because we put everything out there freely. We didn't charge anybody for any of this stuff. So now we're just engaging in wealth intercourse. We're engaging in wealth intercourse because that's what it's called. Commerce is called intercourse in the international arena because that's what it is. So no, we're not engaging in intercourse with any foreign animal husbandry and all of that. And animal husbandry is dual too, by the way. So with that being stated, Moors, you should not be doing without, and please let me be the one to tell you from firsthand experience, even up to today. Whatever you feel you don't have, just demonstrate and it will pop right in your lap. The ancestors will literally have someone bring it to your front door and leave it and say, I don't want this. And it's the exact thing that you were saying, ancestors, how can I get this done without that? And they'll say, just do it. And you just do it. And that thing shows up. I'm telling you, you must just, all I can say is trust me and believe in you and know that it's true. So with that being stated, when we talk about demonstrating, and we're thinking about the empresses that are demonstrating and the nobles that are demonstrating, doing something even though you might be scared is called bravery. It's called courage. Demonstrating who you are even when you think you may not know all the answers is called wisdom and courage. That is courage. That is wisdom. That is bravery. Bravery and courage is you might be scared, but you do it, you demonstrate your status anyway. That's bravery and courage and wisdom.
Islam,
Empress.
Empress Shasha. And
Empress Shasha!
Welcome back.
Empress Shasha, is that you, really?
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Empress.
Yeah,
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Empress Shasha. Islam.
Empress Shasha, just give us a minute to welcome you, okay?
Welcome back, Empress Shasha.
Sasha, welcome.
Islam, welcome back, Tasha. Islam, welcome back, Tasha.
Islam.
Bindaya.
Islam.
I told y'all she wouldn't be in there long. I told you.
I'm here.
I don't know you, but welcome back.
Thank you all.
Yeah, Islam.
I'm here.
Islam.
Welcome back, Islam.
Islam, welcome back.
Thank you
Islam.
Islam. I'm here. I'm back. Thank you so much.
Empress Shasha, I felt like I was holding my breath. Now I can breathe.
We all did. Islam.
Every Sunday, every Thursday, I was here.
Yes.
And I told them the last time, because you can't do anything from in there. I mean, literally.
Yeah.
affidavits and I wrote affidavits and I snuck out affidavits, and I knew even if they didn't get where I willed them to go, that the fact that I was doing it,
yes,
actually, it was going out there, and I knew that we were all together, and I knew I was coming out because 3 days prior to the 7th.
Isn't she beautiful?
I said, I'm going home. I'm going home. I packed up all the few things that I had, and I packed them up, and they laughed at me. They laughed at me. They laughed at me so much, and that it became, and I packed up and I said, listen, I'm not coming back in here. I'm not coming back. And I don't care. I will walk out of that courtroom to my yard. I don't care what you do. Shoot me in the back. Do whatever.
No, they weren't going to do that. Don't say that, Empress. But I know.
I said, and I'm living. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I said this. I'm going to my yard.
Yeah.
And I am in my yard Friday.
Yeah.
I've just, it's been 60 days. And I said, 60 days? No, ma'am. Not staying one more day. Listen. Anyway, I'm here. You said I wanted to comment so many times, but I don't want to interrupt, all of those things. And you said bravery and courage and wisdom. And I had to, because it was bravery and courage and wisdom and truth and standing and declaring who I am over and over and over. I mean, they laughed at me, they ridiculed me, and I didn't care. And I carried on, and I'm here, and I'm telling you, the goal was to lose me in the system, to lose me. And I said, I am unconquerable. Hello?
Yeah.
God, I'm commissioner. They even brought the subject in the office of commissioner for the parish down there. And after I finished declaring to him who I was and what they were doing, the man put out his hand to shake my hand. And the whole time, I'm hearing you stating about the right hand. And that right hand is energy. And all I'm saying, and there was a woman in lockup talked about the right hand again and the left hand, and I couldn't move myself. So I just clasped his whole hand from top to bottom. And I knew in my own spirit, I conquered him.
Yes,
It was something else, but I'm here. I'm here. And I know all your energy and everything, because literally inside there is concrete. You have no access other than the mercy of one subject or other who might. And my son was amazing, back and forth twice. You were only allowed visits twice, so he brought me food. I never ate their poison. I never, but anyway, I'm here. I don't want to hold up any more time, but I'm over, I'm abundant with joy and freedom, and never was I ever not free.
Yes.
Never
Yes.
was I not free.
And never once were you not thought about while you were in there.
Believe you me, I know. Because I'm telling you, every Thursday, I never saw the sun. I never saw the moon. I never saw the 4 times I felt the sun on my body in those 60 days.
Yeah.
I never saw the moon, but every Sunday, every Thursday, and you didn't really know the time, guesswork. Sometimes somebody might say, I was with you. I was with the Congress. I was with everyone. And anyway, I'm here, and I'm free, and one day I will tell the story of what, but I'm here.
Empress, and that's all we're concerned about is just seeing you.
And I told my son for that locket, bring my flag, bring my turban.
She said, bring her flag and her turban.
I I had my affidavit, and I drew the flag. I did all things.
Yes.
And they wouldn't let him bring it to me.
Yeah.
Physically.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
A physics, I did for action and stood up. The two of them, physically, two subjects, physically, threw me in their door.
Empress Shasha, where did you go?
I will say those 60 like.
Empress Shasha, you're going to have to bring your energy down because you're messing with the frequencies. Your energy is so high.
Yeah. Inhale. Yeah, I mean, thing that.
Yeah, drop me.
She is so beautiful. It's the first time I ever saw you in person.
Oh, Empress Shasha.
Here, 60 days prisoner of war. No, but and everything. I'm just gonna say. I'll just state everything.
So Shasha is now out of jail, but Aisha's going to be homeless pretty soon. Aisha's going to be homeless on June 17th. Bye bye, Aisha.
No more of those spells.
Empress Shasha, the energy is so high that we cannot hear you. Well, Empress Shasha, we're just so grateful. Just a moment. Islam Empress, we're just so grateful to hear. We're so glad to just hear your voice, and we knew you wouldn't be long. It was longer than we would have liked, but we know our ancestors were there with you, and we were there too with you. Islam, just grateful to hear you, to see your face, and to hear your voice.
I yield.
Islam Empress.
Islam.
Shasha, did you know that I be out of the house pretty soon?
Just one moment.
June 17th.
Just a moment. Empress Nana, are you there?
I am indeed.
Okay, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Can you see
Wow.
Empress Shasha?
Yeah. I can't tell you how. I mean, I've literally just woken up from a little nap so that I could come to the congressional because it's been crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, Shasha's had her stuff going on. I've had my stuff going on.
Yeah.
Was where she belongs. Stupid Aisha.
Everything is in divine order.
Our ancestors know what they're doing. They know what they're doing with us. They're making us stronger.
Is Aisha going to tell everybody how she's going to be evicted on the 17th of June? Hey,
I said to Shasha today that, you know, everything, all of it, is all you can see the testing, you can see what's going on, you can see what they hope would happen, and they are not real. So why we even waste time thinking, oh yeah, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do that? Doesn't matter. This is what I'm doing, and that is my sister, and I knew, you know, I didn't worry. Like,
it's
you know,
my sister. I love you. This is Empress Aisha.
Very, you know, I was on the phone every minute, and you know, just like harassment. You know, this time I was just like, you know what? Cool. I know my sister's got this.
Yes,
and know she
does. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. And we stood right there with you, Empress Shasha.
Yeah. And I knew, and I was getting a few little messages through, you know.
Yeah.
A couple of the Empresses called me and sent, you know, their good wishes and love for Shasha. And listen, I knew she was coming home yesterday.
Yeah.
I knew it. And I for me, that was them trying to show that was, in this way I saw it, was they were trying to show that they were in control. You know, like even the bit where they wrestled her into the dock. I mean, that was all just, I'm sorry, a bunch of bomberplotness to try and show my sister that who is in charge. Well, we know who's in charge. We know who's in charge. They do not. I mean, they're so fearful. So fearful. They went to all different lengths to, you know, to cut Shasha out. But you can't cut out the sun.
You can't, Nan.
All I'm going to say.
Nana, love you.
Shasha?
Love you, Nana.
Mr. I love you. I mean, it was just like, almost like the world stood still. But you know what I mean? But I knew it was still moving, but it stood still, like it was like, but it was, I knew that you would be absolutely tickety-boo, like I said to Moses, tell your mum, sing every day, make sure she sings. And that was it. And just remember, we're here, and we were here. We might not have been there next to you, but we were next to you, Shush.
Well, everyone, I felt that everyone.
Empress Shasha, we cannot hear you, what you're saying.
Your voice is gone. I mean, for me, I look at that face. Look at that face. Look at that face. That's 60 days in flipping POW. She looks like a young, blooming 16-year-old.
Amazing.
Empress
Shasha, you know you made my day.
Oh, I love that.
Okay. Let's get back on track. And really, we never got off track, if you ask me. This is necessary, actually.
I yield, and I'm sorry. Like, it's beautiful to see you. I haven't seen you guys for so long. I just saw my sister's face.
Let me say this too, Empress Aisha. We see you over there with all that money.
I'm sure working on it. Did you get my letter yet?
I shoot her like.
Did you get my letter yet?
She looks so cute.
She does, doesn't she look beautiful? I did not get. It didn't come yet. There are some things are coming, so I know that it will get here. Empress Aisha.
Okay. I'm working on a special package, and I have put a special YouTube video out there. You might want to look for it.
Woo, we will. Yes, YouTube. Well, we love that. Just put it on the record. We love it.
All right. Where do I put it on the record?
YouTube. You said YouTube. We're good with that.
Good. Okay.
Yeah. Wow. Look at her over there making money. Islam, indeed.
Islam.
Let's continue with our trade back and forth, because let me say this, the way that you prove your wealth is by doing it. Just do it.
That's how I figured out everything. You just have to do it, because they just do what they do. And they do it like clockwork.
Thank you. There it is. There's the truth right there.
Yeah, they do it like clockwork.
So we do it like clockwork.
That's and try to hit the nail on the head every time.
And they're just acting and actors. So now what we do is we hit the nail on the head. We remain accurate. We keep rising and keep doing things. You know, the system is ours. I'm saying that, and you all know that. We're showing you that. Let me show you some Moors, because today, that's what today is about for us. It's proving to you that your word is the law. So I saw something here, and this is about, remember we talked about reporting in terms of credit scores and things like that. We were supposed to be reporting our credit. But the purpose of credit reports in the first place was if you willed to borrow money. Well, we don't have to borrow money. We can borrow money from ourselves and from ourselves as from a banking perspective. But we prepay for everything. And so when it comes to FICO scores and things like that, because see, we're our own credit reporting agency. No one reports our credit but us. We don't borrow money because we create money. So why would we have to borrow it? Let me ask you a question too, Moors. Let me just ask you a question that I thought about. And everyone really has been thinking about this, I'm sure, at one point or another. The question is, if the U.S.fake acting debtors, if they could print money, why would they have to borrow from China? If they could print it, why would they have to borrow money from China? Why? That doesn't make any sense. I thought about that. It doesn't make any sense. So, Islam nobility.
Can you unlock the meeting, please?
Sure. So, a FICO score. I came across this video it's about a 30-second video that you all can watch after Congress as well. Most of the videos that we're putting here, we'll put it in the chat. It's in the chat now. That's a 30-second video explaining FICO scores, and FICO scores it was a way to block the individual. That's what they were for before, FICO score. A FICO score, just for those who will to know, because again, we talk about finance and the financial system because we've created the financial system. And so it's our job and our duty and our responsibility, not our job, but our responsibility to understand and overstand the system. So a FICO score was used. First, the score would be 0 or low if you did not borrow any money. If you didn't borrow any money, your FICO score would be 0, and they would consider that low. And it's supposedly a bad thing. If you didn't borrow any money from a bank, then your FICO score would be 0. Then when you did borrow the quote unquote money, because it wasn't real money, when you did borrow the fiat from the bank, the FICO score was a manipulative tool to keep you in your place It will keep you from becoming wealthy, but it would also block you from.
Do you need any boxes?
From any type of a, it would also block you from accessing things if you didn't pay on time. But even if you paid on time, the FICO score would only go up so high because they wanted you to borrow a whole bunch and be in a whole bunch of debt before that score would get really high. So that's what that was. It was fraud from day one. It was for people who were already in debt to get in more debt. Okay.
Who's going to help Aisha when she's addicted?
And so, you know, in that video, it was explained about FICO boxes and things like that. We're getting better at booting.
You really need to start packing, Aisha.
We're getting really good at booting. So we're rising even there. So, you know, FICO score was used to, you were given a low score if you didn't borrow, and then if you did borrow, you were given a higher score, but they still wanted to use those numbers against you. That just means you didn't borrow from a bank. So then a lot of the things that they wanted to indebt people with, you had to do without those things because you weren't able to create a bunch of money. You know, you weren't able to, so you had to do without if you didn't borrow from the banks, quote unquote. So a FICO score is not even a thing for us because we prepay for everything. Not only do we prepay, but we get paid for buying things. And then we get deductions and breaks and all of that in terms of our person. And when I say breaks, I don't mean breaks, I mean perks. Okay? And just know, Moors, know this, that the internal revenue, our internal revenue is going to be a very powerful mechanism that we use to state our wealth. Where FICO scores are concerned, if someone had $100 million in cash, quote unquote, if they had that in the bank and didn't have to borrow, their FICO score would be low. It would be 0. So they could pay cash for it, but if they wanted to, like in the video, there's one of the subjects is talking about how he had $100 million in the bank, but he went to this apartment complex and he couldn't get an apartment there because his FICO score was 0, was low. Because his FICO score was low, he couldn't get in. He couldn't get an apartment there, but he could write a check for the whole complex. So what we're doing right now is making it so that Moors can do either one. Either one. Okay? So with that being stated, we're making it so that we are creating a system whereby we can go from either place. We can use our system. We can use it as consumers, but why would you want to do that when you can be the equitable owners, investors, and be top down instead of coming from the bottom up? But the reason we're making it that way, we're creating our system so that we can either do it from the consuming consumer portion, or we can do it from our governing status, is so that as our brothers and sisters start waking up and demonstrating their status, that the system will honor from either position what they say. We know that we're not going to fill out an application to go get an apartment. We know we don't have to do that when we can claim a mansion, or 10 or 15 or 20 or 100. We don't have to do that. But our brothers and sisters may will to do that. They may, because people have to be where they are until they lift themselves up from that. So it won't be as difficult on our brothers and sisters coming, that are going to be declaring their nationality. It won't be as difficult, but they do have to still stand. It won't be easy. It won't be a piece of cake for them, but it won't be to where they don't have anywhere to go for information. They don't know what to do, and it won't be any of that for them because of the work that we've all been doing. So take a look at this video. It's about, again, a 30-second video. And here, let me make sure that I put it in the chat. About the FICO score, just so that you can hear, because this little 30-second video done by one of the subjects, it gave me another view or perspective about the place that we operate at and from. Previously, the equitable investors didn't have a reason to use the lower system, because they had hundreds of millions. They had all the resources they could ever imagine. They knew how to operate from the upper area, from that area where you just craft some documents and the $100 million property is yours. We must know, it's like in the previous era. We knew our job, but we knew all the jobs above us too, so that by the time we got there, we knew what to do. You know, by the time we made manager, we knew the manager's we knew everything about that place and position. So that nobody really had to train us. They could boot the manager and we take on over and do what we do. You know, so now it's the other way around. We know from up here what to do. Our brothers and sisters that are coming after us, who will be declaring their nationality, as they demonstrate their status competently, the doors fly open for them. And that's why we've done what we've done. Those that have done POW demonstrations, where you went to the jail and stood on your square, we're doing that so that our heirs that are coming after us won't have that. They won't have to deal with that. Now they can do what? Create and grow and know who they are and know their magic, know their status, and all of that. So if you do not borrow money, you will have a 0 FICO score. FICO scores were made up by corpse banks to reflect that you borrowed money, and then they grade you on how you paid it back. So a FICO score was made to make being a debtor look good. That's what it was created for, or made for in the past. Because why would you need a second score on top of a credit score? Why? Just to do more fraud, enact more fraud, previously. So with that being stated, Moors, do you all remember when we stated and we've stated it several times, we gave the command that the media begin to present Moors in truth and in a favorable manner, and showing our power and our authority and all of that. But that had everything to do with us stating that and putting it out ourselves first. So do you all remember when we gave the command that the media honor our status as well, because it's a system?
Islam, I affirm. Justice Cynthia Ann Bay, Califia Territory. Islam.
Yes, Islam. We put that on the public record. Thank you, Empress.
Islam, I affirm. Karima Bay, Virginia.
Islam. We put that on the public record, and now we're seeing that our word is being honored. So I was watching a video yesterday. The title of the video it's entitled "The Civilization of the Moors" by Robin Walker. Robin Walker is one who is asleep, kind of, sort of, but not really. He doesn't realize it, but he declared his nationality even in the video and didn't realize that he did that. Here's the link to the video. Now, this video is a little longer. It's about an hour. But what happened was, and this is what caught my attention about the video, he's a professor in the colleges. And this video, by the way, is a great video for you to send to family members who don't believe in what you're doing. If you want to just send this to family and friends and tell them to just watch it, just look at it, so that they can know more about the Moors, okay? In the video,
Islam, Empress.
Islam, no, Empress.
I apologize for interrupting. I just had to say I just watched this video before our conference today. Islam, we're always in sync and in harmony with one another.
We are. We're one. And so the one thing that caught my attention about the video that caused me to watch the rest of it is that in the beginning of the video, the classroom auditorium that he was speaking at was empty, and they opened the door, and all of these sleeping Moors came bouncing in the room. They, of course, happy to be there because they're going to learn some more about people who look like them. That's what they call Moors, people who look like them, and it was so many of them coming in the door that I was like, that is an introduction to nationality without really being that. Okay. But throughout the video, he brought up some amazing points. And at one point in the video, he was talking about a flag that had the 4 Moors on it, because there were many flags, particularly in Germany, where the subjects had gave honor and allegiance to flags that had the Moors, had us on the flags. And they said those are the Moors, because they know that we created them there. And so he said in the video, he said, because he couldn't believe that they had people that looked like him on the flag either. I could tell he couldn't believe it. But he was talking about the flag. He said, yes, we are on their flag. And he doesn't realize that that's a statement of Moorish nationality, because he automatically put himself in the place that he should be in. And that was impressive to me about how the ancestors do that. But I said that to say all of this, or I said all of that to say this, that the media is responding the way it should, where people are being introduced to who they are. Because at the end of the video, they had some some people doing interviews about what they thought about the class, about the information that he brought forth. And some of them were saying they're going to go to this place and that place and this place so that they can see more about people who look like them, who were ruling the land. One other thing that he said, among the many other things, because this video is over an hour long, so I'm not doing the spoiler alert thing, but I'm just stating a few things that I noticed in the video. Also in the video, and of course there's going to be some things that are not quite as accurate in some of the videos because some of the information came from the modern ones. But one of the things that I noticed in the video also that I'm hoping that you will notice as well is how the history that we've always known, the sleeping Moors are starting to know and know where to go to find the truth in their history, because their history looks like our history looks like us. Okay? And at one point in the video, they showed a map of Mansa Musa and someone that was doing business as Yusuf Al or Yusuf Ali or something like that. And one of them was a modern European and the other was a Moor. And in the video, they actually got it right. The one who was pale-faced, that one was referenced on the map as a Negro. And the one who was the king, Mansa Musa, who was holding the gold orb, was referenced as the Moor. So again, the media is starting to do exactly as commanded. And again, those things, they're taking their rightful place as we continue to take our rightful place. Continue, okay? So that's a good video to show to your kin. One of the things that was stated in the video is on the screen. It says, a European writer, sympathetic, and sympathetic, that word is not the correct word for that statement, to the Spaniards remembered the conquest this way. So this is how Moors were remembered. The reins of the Moors' horses were as fire, their faces black as pitch, their eyes shone like burning candles. Their horses were swift as leopards, and the riders fiercer than a wolf in a sheepfold at night. We used to tear stuff up, y'all. The noble Goths, the German rulers of Spain to whom Roderick belonged, because see, remember, even the original Germans were us. We were the original Europeans, and we looked like us or darker, is what he was pointing out. He said, the noble Goths, the German rulers of Spain to whom Roderick belonged, were broken in an hour quicker than tongue can tell, O luckless Spain. In other words, we were fighting here, and we used to tear stuff up. We really did, Moors. And that's another reason why war is not what we do this time around. Okay? And that was in 711 AD. Our brother Robin Walker wrote a book called When We Ruled, and he's talking about the Moors. And he wasn't really even claiming Moorish nationality as it were, but he did claim Moorish nationality in reality. So the media is doing what it's supposed to do, which is present truth. But see, our truth has to come from us. Brother Robin is one of us. Emperor Robin Walker is one of us. So he will tell the truth about who we really are. Just wait till he hears this part that we have, that we're putting on the record. We hear his part and honor what he's doing. So really quickly, in that same video, he brought out one of the first things we did when landing our estate. So whenever we entered the land, the first thing we did was put the commerce in order and then do agriculture and banking. Agriculture and banking. In other words, the resources and the banking, which is a resource. And that is what we do. That's what we've been doing, and we've done that. And the system honors what we've done. Here is some Moorish money from the 1700s, so the 16th century. How about this money was before the Cestui Trust? It was before 1666 that we had our own money. We've always had our own money, and our money had our faces on it, just like Dollarium has our faces on it. Are the Moors real? Is that real? Yes. Been that, and gonna always be that. We've always been real, always will be. We've always had our own money. We've always governed the resources. We've always been the bank. Always. And then here's the Catalan map. It is a Catalan atlas depicting a Moor and a Negro in the year 1375. And if you'll notice, the king is the Moor. He's holding a golden orb. And the Negro is the pale one. Now, again, skin color, the tone or the hue of the skin is not always an indicator of status and nationality. However, the bloodline and birthright is the bloodline and birthright. So, for example, my parents, although they come from different nations, my father came from the Detroit Moors. My mother came from the Washita or the Alabama Moors. Those are different nations and empires, but when they came together, the two empires came together and manifested as us, me, and my siblings. Same thing with you all. When your mother and father, who are of the bloodline and birthright, came together, two empires came together. Okay? So I would encourage everyone to watch Brother Robin's video. And also he wrote a book, and here's a link to the book, When We Ruled. I'll put this in the chat also. And again, it's just, it's just stating, talking about the Moors, of course. There, the link to the book is in the chat. We're looking forward to more things in the media reporting the truth, because again, the truth could not be reported until we reported it first. So with that being stated, let's see, are there any other videos about the Moors? Oh, there are other videos out there that are coming to the forefront about us, done by others. We'll just show you a couple of them that we've been thoroughly enjoying these last few days. And the videos they are reminding us of who we are. Okay, let me just show you a couple of those videos. I'll put links to them in the chat as soon as I go to them. Just a moment. These.
If it's worth showing up.
So again, we're just being reminded of who we are. This is a series of videos about Moorish mansions. Very beautiful, just reminding us again of what we do and what we look like and how we did things and our architecture and our wealth and all of that. And they have this channel has a whole series of videos. And here's the link to that video so that you can see. It's to help us remember. That's all it is to help us remember. It's got some of the most beautiful domiciles and gardens and courts and all of that. So you, Moors, this Congress, put on the public record that things about the Moors be stated properly, because see, previously there were attempts to make the Moors look like we were crazy or something. So we had to give the command, all of us. We had to give the command. And once we gave the command, it's my feed is starting to, the videos that are suggested, the algorithm is pulling all of these videos about Moors that look like us, that are just beautiful, positive. It's showing our wealth. I mean, we had so much wealth. It was just amazing and unbelievable. Not unbelievable. We had to believe it because we have it. So are there any questions, comments, wisdom about any of the things that we've shown? This Congress was mainly just to prove that our word is the law, and Empress Shasha just added to that just so that you are aware. Our word is the law, Islam. Are there any questions, comments, wisdom about anything that we've shown thus far? It is our job to continue. Not our job, our responsibility as responsible heirs. So as we move forward in these next few Congresses, we would suggest, because you can't tell sovereigns what to do, so we just highly suggest certain things. We suggest that the 40+ documents, as many of them as you can get done, do them, and seek to understand them, to absorb them into your spirit so that you live them. Because everybody else knows all of that about us. We're the ones who will to know. Islam nobility.
I'd like to know where to send the termination of all corporate contracts and the liens. I know it's to the county of the place that you were born, but I'm in Arizona now. I'm from Chicago territory. Now I'm in Arizona territory.
Okay, so
send them to both?
What does your spirit say? Does your spirit say that that's necessary, or or is your spirit okay with the fact that notice to agent is notice to principal and notice to principal is notice to agent?
That would mean that I wouldn't have to send it to each and every one?
Mm-mm. Those are international documents, so the whole earth sees those, the whole world sees those documents.
Sweet. Sweet.
Yeah.
And one more question I wanted to ask you.
Islam.
About printing of the ID, because I want to change my ID. I showed you the ID. I don't know if you saw it or not, but I showed you all 3 IDs that I got from your sharing. I want yours. And I've just got this, well, you can't see it. I just got this Epson printer, and now I can print. So I saw a sister on the chat. I think she was doing Dollarium.
Yes,
Dollarium. I want to do the Dollarium, and I'm sorry, Dollarium as well as the federal driver's license. And I want to use your template, and I have it. It's on, it's on your, okay.
All Moors have the authority to create their own nationality IDs, their own federal driver's license, their own everything. Moors have the authority, each and every Moor has the authority to create your own existence.
Correct. Okay, listen, one last question. What video would you suggest that I watch for that? Do you have one on YouTube or Facebook or whatever?
I do. There are several on the IDs and what they look like. Several videos on the IDs.
Do you have one in particular?
Not at this moment. We would ask that you just go through them really quickly and just speed it up so that you can see, and if you see one of our IDs flash up, just stop there.
Thank you very much, and I yield. Islam.
It's worth the time to look through. It's worth the time. And we have nothing else to do but govern our estate.
Facts.
So, Islam, thank you, Nobility. There are a couple of questions in the chat, and also Noble Phoenix had something to state. Go ahead, Justice Shiraki.
Islam. Thank you, Empress.
Islam.
I was curious about what you thought about the proper instrument, financial instrument to use to fund the new account for the first time.
The proper instrument to fund the account.
I mean, should I use Dollarium? Should I use? I hadn't, I don't have a direct deposit from no financial institution, so I didn't know how I could fund it the first time around.
What does your spirit say about Dollarium?
Well, I know it's lawful money. I was just curious. Why I say that is because I hadn't set up my employment direct deposit from my postal employment job or other occupations that I'm doing for the government. So I didn't know, should I set that up and use that check as my first deposit as well as the instrument, or should I just send them Dollarium?
What does your spirit say? What is your spirit telling you about that?
Well, really doing both. I need to set up my occupation, and of course, I can't monetize it right now with the Dollarium. Really, they're doing both. I looked at doing both, but I just was curious what you thought about the original instrument to set the account up.
Well, how did we set our account up? How do you think we did that?
Well, of course, I used fiat in the other era.
No, I'm talking about us and me. Like, how do you think we set our accounts up? Because we set them up already. We showed that.
Yeah, I might have missed. I might have missed that exactly.
Just take a guess.
I might have missed the call that evening.
It was just the previous Congress. I believe it was a week ago. Last Sunday. We showed some correspondence.
I might have missed it. I mean, it's just no doubt. I'm not claiming to have such a busy schedule, but I might have missed
Let
it.
me ask you this: knowing what you know about the law, how would you fund anything?
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, I'm going to send the Dollarium. I mean that's something I have on hand. I need to get the occupation definitely lined up. I already got my 40+ documents been on the record. I just hadn't fully, I don't have additional occupation, so I had never had a direct deposit. I don't have I quit contracting back in 2014, so I haven't had a bank account or nothing of that nature since. So I just was curious, but I'm going to
And here's the thing. You don't need to have a bank account until you know you're the bank. And when you know that you're the bank, then that's time to have a bank account.
Well, to operate as the bank, you need your direct treasury account set up. Is that correct? Because how would I monetize it if I don't have an institution that I can monetize it to?
Okay, that's a good question. Let me answer the question with a question. How do banks show that there's money in an account? How do they show that?
They just keep a record of it, of course.
Oh, wow. Ooh, there you go. Nobility, you already have the answers already in your mind, in your head. The answers are there. Have you made your record? And then sent notification to the ones with subject in the Office of Treasury.
No, I haven't done it.
Report that Dollarium to them. Report your account to the Treasury. That's how we did it.
Okay.
You're the treasurer.
Absolutely. I'm definitely.
You got it, Nobility. You know already.
Well,
I know it's new thinking. But you got it already.
No, well, I understand from a lawful standpoint. I mean, I truly understand. I just know a lot of these institutions are still running blocks or different things. But if once I notify the Treasury, I could go that way directly. I don't need to go through another institution. No doubt.
There are no institutions but us.
Right.
And see, I'm grateful that you're bringing this forward, Nobility, because see, you're not even talking to Babylon.
Right.
You're talking to a system.
Absolutely. And I understand as I do the lien levy and bond process to these people that's occupying the land unlawfully. I want to be able to have my funds routed to, of course, which account that I have access to.
Well, you're going to do your mailing properly. That's what's going to get it to the right court. Remember what we stated, Nobility, and I'll just show this quickly out of Black's Law.
You have an echo.
Just a moment. Just a moment. We were going to show the word here. Yeah, there is an echo. Let's show this word here, because we will that you know that there can be no blockage when you know where you're sending things. So let me just show you. How you make your way around any blockages. Just let me get to that part of the We're going to show you in this dictionary how to get around any blockages. This is how you get around blockages. Because you say that, they're trying to block. We know that, Okay. Can you see the word address on the screen, Nobility?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I'm gonna mute your microphone for just a moment because we're getting an echo. But please fix it when you're ready to speak. Oh, okay, you did it. Okay. The way that you get around anything or anyone trying to block anything is that you will to address your documents properly. Why is the address the key to getting things past any fraud? Because it says address. And look right here at equity. Address is part of a bill. The address is part of a bill, wherein is given the appropriate and technical description of the court in which the bill is filed. So when you get the right address, you're going to get the right court, and that means that you're going to get the right result. Do you see that, Justice?
Yes, absolutely. And I fully understand. Truly, I understand, because that's speaking of jurisdiction. So, of course, when you address it properly, they have no stand to do nothing but follow the orders. Absolutely, I understand.
And on any address, any names like Janet Yellen or Joe Biden or any of those names, the word subject with a colon should be in front of it, always. The word subject with a colon and then Joe Biden, or subject with a colon and then Janet Yellen, should be on your address, as part of your address. Because who are we speaking to? We're not speaking to anyone. We're talking to a system. And the subjects in the office of are the ones who make sure that the system is, and they don't really even do that. That's a part of everything that we're doing. Subject in the office of treasurer. So it's like you work from home, but you're the treasurer, and you send something to your office and you make sure that the subjects in the office do as you command. That's what this really is. And that is how you guarantee that whatever you send goes to the right place. Now, let me say this too. When you send things like that properly, and this is something we're seeing, if the system wills to say to you, okay, correct this or do that, the system will send something back. But when the system sends it back, it's also going to put some answers in there too. You have to know how to read system speak. And system speak is simple.
So shouldn't you have your Land Rover by now, then?
System speak. People have been looking at system speak and thinking that that a person or someone is saying, no, you can't have this, and no, you can't do that, and our system has stated that the account is closed, or the bank will not honor that, and all of that kind of stuff. That means that there's some confusion in the system. It doesn't have anything to do with faces. It's the system that's confused. You must unconfuse the system. So then you send a court action command back with some proof. Dollarium is proof that we're not using fiat to speak to our system, because our system doesn't honor fiat. It doesn't. Let me say this. It doesn't honor U.S.debt notes. It does not. Our system doesn't. Okay? So speaking to the proper system is necessary.
Thank you. I'm just going to use the Dollarium and make it that simple and just go through, make it simple, but know that it's a step process. And if they don't accept the Dollarium, then of course, hit them with the lien process, the levy and the bond, and go from there. Absolutely.
So nobility, that's a good thought process, but here's the thing. There's no they that's gonna accept or not accept. It's a system. And when you do the things that the system requires, the system will do exactly what systems are supposed to do. It will honor what you state. So it's always going to be in your process and energy that the system will honor. There's no system that does not accept Dollarium. There's no system that does not accept Dollarium. Whenever you see anything saying we don't accept that thing is a fraud. And you must point that out. You got to prove it using the system. You prove that thing is fraud using the system and Dollarium. There's no system, because see, there's no such thing as a real system and a fake system. The fake is not a system, it's fake. It's fraud. So there's no system, there's only one system. That system is a real system, and that system accepts Dollarium. We know that. Why? Because we're the law. We stated that, and the Constitution has stated that gold and silver is paid in tender. Tender is whatever we say tender is. So if you get something saying we don't accept that, then you have to look at that and correct all the fraud, rebut the fraud, and then send the truth back. And the system will honor it. Send the truth back. No matter how many times that thing speaks, you send the truth back. Because it's babble. It's babble until you fix it. It's babble until you fix it. That's what Babylon was, nobility. Initially, and this is for everyone, when we first started creating commerce and doing things and creating things and naming things and all of that, we said, well, let's create a commercial system. So we created a commercial system, and whenever we spoke to our system, it brought us whatever it is that we willed. We would speak to the system, write out affidavits, and the system would deliver. Well, then there was an attempted usurpation enacted, where the acting usurpers looked at how we did things where we didn't even have to check. We would just send something and the system would honor it. We would send something and the system would honor it. So the acting usurpers said, okay, well, what if we inject ourselves in there, because the Moors are doing things, but they're not using Moorish letterhead. They're not even stamping and sealing their stuff. They're just sending it haphazardly. Haphazardly, we got lax because we were used to the system delivering. So we stopped doing the things that make our system a living system. We stopped stamping and sealing and using our signature and using our courts to get things done. So some actors, third-party interlopers, came in and said, you know what? The Moors are so relaxed, they're not even telling their children about how to speak to a living system. So let's inject ourselves in there and start answering the stuff by telling them no. And if they don't know how to rebut our no, then we will know we conquered them. So let's put some abbreviations, because see, they knew they couldn't act sovereign. They couldn't be sovereign. So they said, let's put some abbreviations here and see if they notice the abbreviation, because their abbreviations weren't going to mean what ours say, what ours mean. So we didn't correct the two-letter state, which doesn't exist. WA for Washington, WV for West Virginia, CA for California, CO for Colorado. That's fraud. It's fraud. Write the word out. Mean what you say and say what you mean. And we didn't rebut that. So then we saw that the address was not the one we were talking about. So then we started speaking back to the two-letter states. We started saying, oh, well, we don't have to write out California. We'll just do CA like the letter said. And we started doing that, and guess what? They started saying, no, in fact, you don't have any right. Oh, let's just send a war rant to that address and see if they respond to that too. Let's send some debt to that address and see if they respond. So we forgot our own address in the enactment. We forgot that we were the court in the enactment. Because an address is a court if it's a living address. It says so right here. And then where legislation, see, this word address has to do with legislation too. Address is a formal request addressed to the executive by one or both branches of the legislative body, requesting him to perform some act. See, if you want the system to do what you tell it to do, you must speak from your court to the system, and the system will perform. And that word perform is not really even the right word. The system will do and be what you tell it to do and be. So sometimes, you might think that that it's a person saying no. It's not a person saying no. Even fake policy enforcers, all they do is go in, put on a costume in their enactment previously, put on a costume and go see what the paper says. What has the system spit out today? Is it a war rant? Is it a no-knock search? Is it pull everybody over? What is it? So what we do is correct the system, and then every piece of paper they get is going to say the right thing. First, it's going to say that they're not the real police, that we are. And the system is going to defund them. The system is going to do it. That's why you're seeing defunding. You see? But we must know who we are.
Absolutely. Thank you. I truly I'm truly demonstrating. I'm just,
I know you are.
I was curious about that last financial instrument. That was about, thank you.
Yeah. That last financial instrument is really not the last one. There's some precepts that that your spirit is still absorbing, nobility. There's some precepts. And I always go back to the precepts of who's who and what's what, because they're not the bank. We listen to what's being said. Like I heard what you said. You're asking about a financial instrument, but you referred to them as a bank or an institution. You use the word institution. They're not an institution. And that's why I always end up going back to who's who and what's what. I always go back to our courts and proper identification of the parties, because I listen to what comes out of the Moors' mouths. Everyone who speaks, I listen to what comes out of their mouth. And if they give someone that's some actor a title, I already know what the problem is. And see, sometimes Moors are looking at, they want the banking system to work for them, but they don't realize that they're the only bank. And they'll keep calling somebody else a bank out there when there's no bank but the Moors, the original indigenous people. But I listen. And so sometimes Moors be like, Light goes all the way around and it take her 30 minutes to answer a question, and she didn't really even answer the question. That's because I answered it. It's because I hear the words that are coming out of the mouths of the Moors, and it's my job to use whatever technique, whether that be broken record technique, whether that be the roundabout and get to the point technique, whether it be directly. I could stop people each and every time and say, they're not the bank, they're not an institution, you're the institution. They're not this, you're that. I could stop every time someone opens their mouth, I could stop them. But that's not the answer. That's kind of rude, actually. So I try not to do that and then still answer the question. They're not an institution, you are. They're subject to you. So then when you're sending things, when you address them as subjects, they'll do exactly what you tell them. Those letters that you've been getting back, because I know you've been getting them, those letters that you've been getting back, they're not even addressed to you, they're addressed to a corpse. So you're to know that too when you're looking at them. However, they do offer answers when we know how to read. They offer answers. There's keys in them when we know how to read. And when we know that we are the law. We're the bank, we're the institution, we're all of that. So I know it seems roundabout. That's just to keep from interrupting people and saying, please don't call them an institution. Please don't call them a bank. Don't do that. Because you're the institution and the bank and the government. Because at one point you even called them the government. They're not the government. So when you go back and listen to this particular part, you're going to hear yourself call them titles that they don't have. And our job is to make you aware of that so that you can fix it. Because we love you so much.
Islam, it's clear to me finally. Thank you.
Yes, Empress. Yes. Address. The question is, who are you talking to? Islam, Empress.
Yes, Empress. Making reference to our conversation or the last live we had that I attended, I have finally found the truth that I have been looking for. And I am ready to declare my nationality.
Woo! Yeah.
I just need to know, what do I do?
There are 6 documents. There are 6 documents that we suggest that you place on the public record. Let me show you where to find those 6 documents.
Okay.
So you go to YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
You go to Light Tajiri Bay channel, and we're doing this for you and everyone who's watching.
Okay.
For those 6 documents. You go to Light Tajiri Bay channel. and you click on videos, and you go under any of the videos, any of them. I just picked the latest one. And when you go to that video, you click right here on Moor. The word Moor, M-O-R-E, will be there. Click on that word. And when you click on that word, your computer to go as slow as mine is going. Yours is going to go faster. And then it's going to show you underneath there links to documents. And someone else asked about the 40 documents. This is the 40 documents. And the first 6 of that 40 documents are the documents that we're talking about. And actually, there are several other ones as well in here. When you do that, you'll come to this part right here. Now, it's actually not the first 6 documents. Let me tell you which documents it is. It is the nationality document is number, let's see, number 30, number 29. Number 29, appellation change.
Okay.
That document you will do for yourself. It's a name change. We would call it name change and judicial proclamation. So 29 and 30, these two, appellation change, judicial proclamation. Now, Empress, let me say this about the name change. You do not have to change the name, the appellation that your Holy Mother gave you at birth. You don't have to change that. What you're changing is the system and who creates and governs those names. That's the change. You're changing the nature or nationality of the name. Okay? So any document that's written by you talks about you. Any document that comes in the mail or anything that's written by others that has the evil twin on it, that's not talking to you or about you, but you must rebut it with these documents. So the document 29, 30, 31 is the termination of all corporate contracts. That's another one that we do. And out of those 6 documents, that's 3 of them. The next one is 36 and 35 and 36, which is the proclamation of trust and a lien on the fake one's ability to create that evil twin and try and have you doing things by claiming to be that thing. Okay, so you want to place a lien on that. And then, so let's see. In fact, that's
that is 36. Okay.
Yeah, 36, 35, 29 and 30, 31, and the lien on the United States Corporation Company. You want to do that one. That's another one, and that one is up here. That one is here, number 10.
Perfect.
And then you want to do the fiduciary document, which is number 4, 004, fiduciary state for Morocco.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so that's homework.
So let me go over those numbers again for those who will to do the same thing. That's number 4. Huh?
I just typed them and put them in the chat for you.
Thank you, Nobility. I just love that. Look at Solomon. So those are the numbers in the chat. Number 4, 10, 29, 30, 31, 35, and 36. Those documents are nationality documents that make it so that financially you can start demonstrating. Okay. However, Empress, let me say this about those documents. Anyone and everyone, even if you've not done those documents, you should be still demonstrating your status and then get those done as soon as you can. See, we still have to demonstrate, because if you get pulled over before you have all those documents done, you still have to state who you really are.
Yeah.
You know, then the documentation begins to speak to the system so that those who were previously acting to pull you over, they will be responding to what the system told them. The system will tell them that no, that's not one, she's not acting with you all. She's not participating in your theater. She's a living and real. She's one of the gods on the land.
Islam.
Yes, Islam.
I will to share, because as we are demonstrating all of this, this comes in very handy right now.
Mm-hmm.
As claiming her nationality, she also needs to, not need, but wills to certainly make a public record of these things. And one of the ways that some of us have used was social media, Facebook, and other items such as that. One that we had been using was Calameo and Script. And Script is still fine, but it's a subscription base, right? And they want fiat for that. So we defaulted to Calameo because it was a free account and there was no fiat involved. Okay. Recently, as of last week, several of us have lost access to those accounts temporarily. Right? They literally wrote us or wrote an email that responded and said something to the effect that this is a misuse of community guidelines, blah, blah, blah. All right? That's all bogus, and it's just a system, and I know that, and that's going to be addressed. Yeah. In the meantime, so let's just leave that go. In the meantime, I said, okay, well, where else can I go and what else can I use? So being proactive, I said, you know what? That's fine. I will deal with you in a moment. But in the meantime, I still want to put more documents on the public record. Therefore, I went and created a group under Truth Social that was free, so we don't have to exchange fiat, and started a group there where we can post our documents from, watch this is the best part of it, our own Google Drive. So if you have your computer, just like what you were doing, with all of these documents that are on your light Tajiri Bay YouTube, you have a Google Drive. Well, if you have a Google Gmail, you got a Google Drive. So upload all of your documents there, and then I can take the document from there and upload it to Truth Social and make a public record. Now we also have it you can do it individually on your own account, or you can put it in a group format under our group that I set up for all of our benefits. Yeah. It's the Empire State of Morocco, Moorish National Federal Public, Government, blah, blah, blah. If I said that wrong, forgive me.
You better know the name of your government.
I'm talking too fast because I just wanted to get through this, so please forgive me, everyone. Y'all know I know it because I can sit here and just read. I know it. My tongue just got twisted.
I'm just
mentioning I know. It's all good fun. So that's available, and I put a link in the chat of one document that I uploaded.
I said, you must have to talk. Go ahead.
All right. So so I put a link of a document so that you can see the access that is available. And anyone who wishes to or chooses to use that as a public platform, to put your documents on a public platform, okay, you're not going to be interfered with, more likely, at this website because it's not a for-profit one, okay, where they're monitoring and it's, the previous spooks in the previous era in the previous system trying to whatever. Okay, so we most likely won't run into that same type of system error.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to share that and make sure everyone can see that in the chat, and make that available if you choose to do so. All right, Islam. That's all I wanted to share.
Islam. Beautiful, beautiful.
Empress.
I'll say this about the public record. Islam, Empress.
Yes, I have one final question, and that is choosing an appellation and how to go about that. Now, I didn't mean to interrupt you because I know you're getting ready to say something very important.
Empress, you can. I would encourage everyone to definitely include your sovereign-born appellation in your nationality document. That's the holy name, that the holy appellation that your mother gave you, your parents gave you. You must restate that. It must be properly stated and nationalized. It must be, because that's your estate. And then where appellations are concerned, just if you have to just take 24 hours to not eat, just drink water for 24 hours and just go out in nature or sit quietly and just sit in gratitude, and then let the Spirit tell you, make suggestions to you. Ultimately, it's always up to you. But let the Spirit suggest to you what, if you will, to use another appellation, the bays, the L's, the Al's, the Ali's, the days, which is a part of all that we do anyway, because those are offices.
Right.
So
I will.
Yeah, just let the Spirit show you a word that is an expression of you.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter what the word is. If you're inspired, that word is truth for you.
There is another name or appellation that I actually do use. Say like on the plantation, and it was when I was coming out of Christianity, and I was searching for a name that actually identified me, and that was Amani.
Yeah.
Which is Swahili, which means faith.
Yes. Beautiful.
That's what I gave. That was the name that came to me, and I've been calling myself that ever since. And yes, you are correct. I don't want to lose what my parents have given me.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah. Just restate it so that it's in the proper system. Spelled the same, sounds the same, looks the same, except it's nationalized.
Perfect. And I have all these additional names because of the system and how we married in the system. I don't need all of those, right?
Whatever your Spirit says about them.
Okay.
Obey what comes from hear, not obey, but hear what comes from within you and do accordingly.
Okay.
You are God for your story and for all that concerns you.
Right.
You are the Lord of your estate.
Yes. Islam.
And you know what, Empress? Your Spirit will always be right. You know how they used to say the customer is always right? No, the Spirit is always right. It's always going to be perfect for you. You and your Spirit are always going to agree.
Yes.
Always. And then everybody around you is going to agree because you and your Spirit agree. Yes. Everybody around you is going to say, yep, that's Imani.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Empress.
Islam.
Are there any other questions, comments, wisdom from this amazing and awesome and I love this Congress so much, so much.
Islam.
Islam nobility.
I would like to state something for the record.
Sure.
Great Rising. I am the divine sovereign, living justice, equal sum, sequam, bishni, Kimball, sovereign, living justice. I am the great golden grand El, Hi, Yahais Bay, and propria persona sojuris, and propria solo, and propria heredes. I am a Moor, divine, original, indigenous, sovereign, ancient, Al-Moroccan, Moorish American, ascendant of the great pharaohs of Kemet, and of, excuse me,
the ancient Moabites,
ancient Moabites, Canaanites, Shemites, Israelites, Cushites, and Hittites. My full faith and trust, my allegiance, my honor, my credit is vested in us, the original, indigenous, natural, divine, sovereign, ancient empire state for Morocco and the de jure Moorish National Republic, federal government, Washington District for Columbia. Empress Shasha, we welcome you back. I knew you was going to be to release. We all put our good faith, and I'm just much gratitude, and I would just like to say to all Muslims out there, great rising.
Islam. And thank you for that nobility, Justice Your Highest. We honor your words, and we affirm them as well. And just for the record, because I heard him say something that sometimes there's an attempt to be war around that word by others, not him, but by others out there, about the word Muslim or Muslim. We are Islamic Muslim, but that has everything to do with the law. It doesn't have anything to do with, unless Moors choose to do that, they can do it. If you want to get onto a carpet and tap your pineal gland to the earth and let your pineal gland touch the earth 5 times a day, if you want to do that, you can do that. It's not mandatory because we are the earth and we are so the Muslims are our brothers and sisters, okay? We are Islamic Muslim, M-O-S-L-E-M. It has a different meaning than the word Muslim. But we're the ones who make that call and who make that statement, okay? So sometimes people ask, well, what do you all eat? Well, and things like that. We eat whatever our spirit says to eat. If our spirit says eat, we eat. If our spirit says eat bacon, we eat bacon. If our spirit says don't eat bacon, we don't eat bacon. Do what your spirit says for you to do, because that's going to be your temple, and how your temple responds is up to you. It's up to you. You have complete latitude and longitude over your spirit and your body. And in the Biblios says, that which I have made clean, don't you call it dirty. So we can eat whatever we will to eat. And then we do a fast, a 3-day fast once a month, where we do, we fast, but we fast from, some Moors choose to fast from ugly energy. Other Moors choose to fast from ritualistic religion, okay, modern religion, or anything that has to do with dogma. So we don't do dogma. Everyone, because you are the Lord's for the land, you do what your spirit tells you to do. Your spirit is your first authority. You don't have any leaders but your spirit. And then we all lead together. So there is no hierarchy in that way, because we are the gods for everything. There are 3 places in the Biblios that state that we are God. 3 places in the Bible that say that we are God. Everyone just look that up. So, and then, those who are from Europe, they are not our enemies. We don't have any enemies. And let me tell you why we don't have any enemies. Because, see, some people, they want to check out when you say you don't have any enemies. We don't have any enemies because there's no one fit to fight us. It's not a fair fight when you're God and you create everything. It's not a fair fight. Why would you fight? It's not fair. So we have no enemies. We do have dominion over everything, though, and that is the part where our authority and our power come in, is yes, we do have dominion over all. Plants, animals, and subjects, and others, all other. So, you know, and when we say all other, we're just talking about those who don't know who they are. Period. And then when they figure out who they are, that's gonna automatically place them where they place themselves where they need to be in terms of the Moors. You know, so to us that's no one leads the Moors. No one represents us either. And we don't represent anything else. We present, not represent. We present. There's no need to re-present. There's no need for that. So we present ourselves and we stand. Islam. Are there any other questions, comments, wisdom from this great Congress? So from this point also, all we're doing now is continuing to demonstrate dominion over the systems, okay? We're not mad at anyone because it's a system. So we just continue to demonstrate where systems are concerned. Any other questions, comments, wisdom from this Congress? Empress Shasha?
Yes, Mom.
I'm probably going to be crying the whole evening, just grateful to you. Just glad to hear your voice and glad that you're back with us. We were with you the entire time. We just talked about you the previous Congress. Yes. You know, so just grateful that you.
Yes, I am too. I'm so excited. I'm just excited.
Yeah.
I have been looking and searching for the answer.
Yeah.
And when it actually appeared, I was swayed against it.
Empress, who is this speaking?
This is Empress Imani.
Imani, okay. Go ahead, Empress Imani. Go ahead, Empress Imani.
Okay. So, but yes, I was swayed.
I just wanted to.
But
just a minute, Empress Nana, hold for just one moment, because we were talking about Empress Shasha. But Empress Imani had something she was stating as well.
Do I need to yield?
Just kicked her out.
Okay. Let me open it up.
If you open up again.
Yeah, it's open.
Empress, she can get in on her phone.
Okay. It's open. The meeting is open. Empress Imani, just one moment, Empress Nana. Empress Imani was making a statement. Just know that we are so glad that you're here, Empress Imani. We appreciate your energy.
I am too. I'm so excited. I don't know what to do. I don't think I know how to.
Well, you know, that energy is necessary because it is some work, you know, but it's nothing too hard for God.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a question, though. I have a question as it relates to my parents, but I don't know if I should have that conversation with you now or if I should wait until afterwards. I don't know.
Well, Empress, I'll say this about all of the questions that you have is, and this is for everyone, if you find that you have a lot of questions about the processes and things, our suggestion is that you just start watching the videos and then do 1 or 2 demonstrations, and a lot is going to come clear through your demonstrations. Even if it's just sending your documents off, to notify the proper places that you're awake. If you do that,
well, this is.
Go ahead, Empress.
Well, this is not exactly a question about the process, though. It's a question about my mom and dad. And so my dad is looking for some support in taking care of him and my mom, and I'm trying to figure out how to kind of go about doing that.
Okay.
And,
so
yeah.
So look at the system, that thing that was pretending to be a system. Look at it, and then restate any benefits that you will to have for them. So, for example, if it was Social Security or disability or some type of something to help them, what you do is you look at the system, because it's not a system. It's a draft. It's a sampling. It's an example, and then you restate what you will for them, and then send it to the right court of that system. So you'll send it to Social Security, but you won't use a 2-letter state, because that's not a real system. That's fraud. That's fake. You spell everything out so that it gets to the right court, and then that part of the system will honor what you're stating for them.
Okay.
That's how we do everything that we do.
Okay. I'm going to
Islam. Just one moment. Empress Imani, is that sufficient in terms of where to start?
Well, yes and no. And then well, the reason why I'm kind of where am I? I don't want to use that word either. The reason why I don't have, the reason why there's not clarity yet in how I'm thinking to go about assisting them, and the assistance that I'm referring to, they need some help in the home because they've run out of money. But no, they've run out of fiat.
Yes, we knew that would happen among many. And that's why we have the processes in place that we have in place. So, here's the thing. Have they declared their nationality?
No. No one in my family has.
That's the place to start with them. Because, see, they have a system that has plenty of resources. They have a system that has plenty of resources. In order for them to even stay in the place that they're at, they're going to have to declare their nationality, and then you can assist them with that. Okay. They may not feel that I'll say this: if they feel they're not ready, you can do it, but their status is going to be different. It's going to be subject status, and you assisting subjects until they declare who they really are. And the spirit, no matter how old they are, no matter what the understanding capabilities are, the system will make it clear. I mean, the spirit will make it clear to them. The spirit will clarify it. Huh?
Now, if my dad is not in agreement with what, as you stated, maybe for me to do it, if he's not in agreement, would that be a war?
Okay, if he's not in agreement, you can't do it.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, you can't, because we can't declare nationality for somebody else. And unfortunately, and I'll have to put this on the record, unfortunately, when people are not in agreement, sometimes they have to get to the point in their need where they see that it's necessary. And we don't will that for anyone, but it's kind of like what they used to say in those programs like Alcoholics Anonymous and things. Sometimes people have to hit a bottom before they actually get help. And so, you know, for some sleeping Moors, they are going to get to that place. You know, and we just have to send energy. We can't force them. Man knows not by being told. We can let them know that there's a way out, but we can't do it for them. They must do it for themselves. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you so much, Islam.
You're welcome, Islam. There was, yes, Islam nobility.
Okay, Arizona territory. I originally declared my nationality, and you were talking about the 6 documents. Do I still have to start with those 6 documents?
So if you've already declared your nationality, we suggest that you read the 6 documents to ensure that you understand the process.
Okay.
Read them, and then if your spirit says, yeah, you probably should do this or you probably should do that, listen to your spirit.
Can you pick those numbers in the chat again? I was looking for them. I can't find them.
Sure. Noble Phoenix, those numbers that you put in the chat, and I'll say them. It's 4, 10, 29, 30, 31, 35, and 36. And here I'll just copy and paste what Noble Phoenix put in the chat. Those are the documents.
Okay, I do have another question while I have you.
Mm-hmm.
I've been camping out in the area. I've been camping out in some of the Arizona camping areas for some time. And I kind of like overstayed my welcome. So the forest ranger came and told me last night I couldn't stay there no more because I overstayed my welcome, and they want me. They gave me a citation, all that type of stuff, and they told me I had to appear in court July 9th. And I asked a lot of questions. You took all the signs that said 14 days within the 30-day period, then you change it. I said, you need to show me that, because you guys changed the sign. Why don't you just change the signs and pick it up there and let campers know that, you know, what that is. Okay. He was saying that if we do that, then we couldn't reach all the land to pick those signs up. I said, well, you still should let the campers know that, because I don't know that unless I look and do some research on that. So he told me that I cannot camp out anymore in all the national parks nationwide. I said, or in Arizona. I said, it makes no sense. You can't do that. And I said, well, who government owns this land? He said the federal government. He said he works for the federal government. He's a forest ranger enforcer, law enforcement. Okay, so that really works.
Okay, so you must know who you are, and when you realize who you are and you declare who you really are on paper, and that's why we say go ahead and just start studying the documents, because the one that you were talking to is not a forest ranger. They're actors. They're not real. And that's why they said what they said about you can't camp in none of them anywhere. How are they going to say that when they can't even get a sign out there? That means that that somebody is reading a bogus script. It doesn't even make sense. But see, if you don't know who they are, and first and foremost, it's not even about them, it's about you. You must know who you are first and foremost. When they say federal government, we're the only federal government ever. But see, you have to know that, and then you got to study the process, because you said you declared your nationality, right?
Yes.
Okay, so those 6 documents are a must for you to know. A must for you to know. So we would suggest that you go ahead and read them, and then if your spirit leads you, then demonstrate those documents.
Okay, I'm asking them reading all of them again for the second time, but I still need some type of assistance to start with the 6 documents.
What type of assistance do you need to start with the 6 documents?
I need assistance in how they work. I mean, how do you use it? How you restate it?
Okay. Here's the issue with needing assistance about restating the documents. You won't know that until you do them, until you print them out and put your appellation in there. It will not be clear to you how they are used until you demonstrate them. See, the documents work for you because you're going to know what to say and what to do. When you read the documents, you will see that you're the court. When you read the documents, you will see that no one has authority over you. No one has authority over you. But because you called them officers, because see, you called them officers.
No, I didn't.
No, what I'm saying, I'm just saying when you were explaining the story, you called them officers.
Right. Oh, okay.
You can't even do it then. So our suggestion to you is to take the time to study those documents. Take the time to study them and then demonstrate them. You got to study them first. So this is what we suggest with studying. As you're reading the documents, any words that you don't know the meaning of, look them up. There's a Black's Law Dictionary online that you can look at. There's a Webster's 1828 Unabridged Dictionary that you can look at. And as you look at the meaning of the words, you'll find that words did not mean what we were taught in the last era that they meant in the previous era. They don't mean that. They mean something different. So that is where you start. And no one can assist you with understanding the documents. No one can assist you with reading it and knowing what you're reading, but you. Okay? So there's where you start. Start there with a dictionary and the documents. And reading them one by one, word for word, read them. Take the time to read them. Slow down. You have time to read 6 documents. You must read them because it's only through your understanding that you'll be able to demonstrate who you are. And while you're doing that, the ancestors and the spirit will hold back the devourer while you're doing that. Use your time wisely and get started on it immediately. That is our suggestion, because we can't tell sovereigns what to do, but we can highly suggest some things.
Okay. Is this the one I put on the document?
Yes.
Oh,
and the public record is just any place that's public.
Yeah.
You can even make copies and hand them to those that were previously acting as officers, because they're not really officers. They know that. Okay? Start there. And I can assure you that the Spirit will do what is necessary, because all of us we all have the same bloodline and the same spirit. Start there.
All right, Islam.
Islam. Moors, when I hear these things, we must do and continue to do what we're doing so that the acting can stop. We don't have to be a part of the acting. We don't have to be a part of that. We can literally opt out of acting, of that acting piece, and be ourselves. Okay? So, are there any other questions, comments, wisdom from this amazing and awesome Empress Nana and Empress Shasha, were you all going to say something?
I was indeed. Islam.
We can't hear you. Speak up just a little bit, Empress Nana.
Okay, hold on. I don't know where my sound is coming through. Okay, how's this? Is this better?
It's a little bit better. Is it just me, or does she sound far away from her microphone?
Yeah, probably me. How's that?
Her voice is faint.
It's faint.
Is it?
We can hear you, Empress Nana, but it's not.
Okay, I'm quickly going to say, Malembe
Izola.
My sister Shasha. Love you. Thank you, everybody, for all your thoughts and prayers for my sister. I knew she'd be out.
Yeah.
Empress Shasha, don't mess with that one, okay?
Yeah.
You know who she be.
She's very powerful. But as are we all. Yeah. Thank you, Empress Nana.
Welcome back, my sister. Love you.
Islam. Thank you, Empress Nana. Islam Empress.
Want to say welcome back, sir.
Islam. And I think she was having her internet was going in and out a little bit. Islam. Well, I have that is all that we have at this time. We will meet again on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Let me say that that no matter what, all is well all the way around. We've already reset everything. The reset, quote unquote, is done. It's done. Islam. So peace and grand rising to the sovereign, original, indigenous, natural, divine heirs. Islam, everyone. See you on Thursday.
Good night, Empress.
Peace and grand rising. Peaceful slumber, Moor.
Gratitude, Empress.
Yes.
Peace and love.
Islam.
Thank you.
Islam.
Great rising.
Grand rising, Moors.
Yes, indeed. Grand rising.
Love. Islam, peace and love.
Islam.
Peace and love.
Islam.
Islam, peace and love.
Islam.